ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور داد باتورانو کور ساتوی پسروینو داد شهیدانو کور داد کور داد باتورانو.
Hello, assalamu alaikum, good evening and welcome to today's hour's news with me, Marian. Riyadh is interested to further strengthen relations in economic, trade and political sectors with Kabul. The Saudi Arabian ambassador in Kabul made these statements during the meeting with the Minister of Labour and Social Affairs. In this meeting, the Minister of Labour and Social Affairs describes Afghanistan as a suitable environment for Saudi investors.
The Minister of Labour and Social Affairs met with Saudi ambassador in Kabul to discuss further strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries. The Minister of Labour and Social Affairs encouraged Saudi investors to invest in Afghanistan and asked the Saudi ambassador to export Afghan agricultural products and fruits directly to Saudi Arabia.
په دې کتنه کې د دواړو هیوادونو ترمنځ د شته تعلقات او همکاریو د پیاوړتیا سربیره په سعودي عربستان هیواد کې د
In this meeting, in addition to strengthening the existing relations and cooperation between the two countries, every detail was discussed about the problems of Afghan workers living in Saudi Arabia. Minister of Labour and Social Affairs Al-Hajj Abdul Omari expressed his gratitude for the assistance of Saudi Arabia to Afghanistan in various fields and expressed his satisfaction with the Afghans living in Saudi Arabia. The Honorable Minister also added that Afghanistan is an environment for Saudi investors and the Saudi trade market is an excellent market for the Afghan agricultural products.
Saudi Arabia's ambassador Faisal bin Talaq al-Baqmi called the friendly relations between the two countries historic and added that Saudi Arabia is committed to further strengthening its relations with the Islamic Emirate in the fields of economic, trade and political.
Mr. Faisal Talaq al-Baqmi also expressed his willingness to cooperate in resolving the problems of Afghan workers living in Saudi Arabia.
Earlier, Mullah Abdul Manan Umari, Minister of Labour and Social Affairs, met with representatives of Qatar, Russia, and a number of other countries to discuss the demands and problems of Afghans in these countries.
The Ministry of Interior Affairs says that it has dismantled all kidnappers' gangs in the country. Mufti Abdul Qaneh says that security forces have arrested a large number of kidnappers, which has reduced a number of kidnappings nationwide to almost zero.
The Ministry of Interior says that kidnapping graph has dropped to zero compared to last year. Mufti Abdul Mateen Qaneh adds that the Islamic Emirate does not allow anyone to pose a threat to the security of the people and adds that it has eliminated all kidnapping rings in the country and arrested the criminals.
The number of kidnapping gangs that existed has ended. That is, many criminals have been arrested or killed in a war situation where they do not give up. 2 months ago, we did not have any single kidnapping case in the whole country. After that, one kidnapping case occurred in Tahor province and another one in Kabul.
The spokesperson for the Ministry of Interior also says that the Islamic Emirate is also taking serious action against kidnappers who are involved in kidnapping Afghans abroad.
In other countries, our Afghans and some foreigners are kidnapping the people and they are calling to their families of victims and ask for money. Alhamdulillah, they are also trying to solve this problem with the coordination of our Interpol and international police countries.
At the same time, the Chamber of Commerce and Investment praises the elimination of kidnappers by security institutions and adds that investors can now work and trade in Afghanistan with confidence.
Security is a great opportunity and a great condition for investment. Alhamdulillah, the issue of kidnapping in Afghanistan, which was recently authorized by an official of the Ministry of Interior Affairs, has greatly reduced. Security and security provision in Afghanistan have undoubtedly been unparalleled in the past 3 years. And ensuring nationwide security is a fundamental principle and element in encouraging foreigners for investment.
According to the Ministry of Interior, the overall crime rate in the country has decreased by 30% compared to last year.
The reconstruction of the historic Pashto fort in the 4th district of Kabul city is 50% completed. Officials say that the reconstruction of this historic fort is being carried out by the National Development Agency. The historical Kuala Pashto fort in the heart of Kabul city is a clay fort that represents the image and the story of the history of Afghans against the occupation of the British forces by the force of sword. The tall historical towers of this fort stand at the foot of the Kuala Pashto hill, parts of which have been destroyed over time and now steps have been taken to reconstruct it. The construction of this historical monument worth 88 million Afghans has been entrusted by the Department of Affairs to the National Development Agency, of which 50% of the work has been completed and the remaining work will be completed as the weather warms up. The budget is from the Islamic Emirate, not the entire project, which is currently under construction and has been awarded to the National Development Agency. The total contract is worth 971 million Afghans, of which 88 million Afghans were awarded to the Kuala Pashto fort. On the other hand, officials from the Ministry of Information and Culture consider this historical monument an example of living culture and say that they have renovated 28 historical buildings and structures so far. The people who have lived in these forts, the different generations who have passed through them, have their own value in terms of culture and identity, so that the nation can recognize its own identity and culture. Another value is that they also have a special value for tourists, because the preservation, reconstruction, and renovation of these means that when tourists come to our country, they can see our past history in order to recognize our culture. This historical monument was built a century and a half ago on an area of 48,000 square meters of land during the reign of Amir Abdurrahman Khan, and it has 7 historical towers. The governor of Baghlan province visited different parts of the sugar factory in the central Baghlan district and praised the work and activities of the factory officials and promised to cooperate and address their problems. The sugar factory in the central Baghlan district, which was completely inactive in the previous government, has started production with the ruling Islamic Emirate and attention of the relevant authorities. For this purpose, the governor of Baghlan province has visited different parts of the sugar factory in Baghlan district. Meanwhile, the spokesman of the Baghlan governor said that the purpose of this meeting was to address the problems of the production departments of the factory.
The governor of Baghlan province, Al-Haj Maulai Abdurrahman Haqqani, was on an official visit to the sugar factory. During the visit, he listened to the problems met with the responsible individuals and workers and closely observed their challenges as well as their achievements in performance.
Also, unofficials of the sugar factory and farmers of the central Baghlan district appreciated the visit of the inspection of the governor of Baghlan province and said that they have stored 300 tons of watermelons in their warehouses for sugar production.
We express our gratitude to the Honorable Governor, who regularly visits the Baghlan Sugar Company. He also visited last year, addressed our concerns, and has encouraged our workers. The Baghlan Sugar Factory once held the top position in Afghanistan. Farmers must be encouraged to cultivate sugar beets, and support should be provided to them so that the factory can continue to produce sugar.
This is why the sugar factory of Baghlan district started its activities in 2019, which covers more than 4,000 acres of agricultural land in Baghlan province. This was our tonight's news package. Thank you for watching.